Yo, fancy community, welcome to Proper Things, the FPL show brought to you by the ttfsl, episode 17 of season 2. And this is going to be the game week 16 preview. I know we had a lot of football come at us quick and fast, midweek, game weeks. So 14 and 15 just zipped by. A lot of points were had, a lot of points were lost. Liverpool now clear at the top of the Premier League table. So without further ado, let's kick things off with a review of how my team did in game weeks 14 and 15 to see where I am. So firstly, in game week 14, my team got 70 points. It was a little smash and grab with Mekalenko coming off the bench with Gabriel unable to play for the 11-pointer. And captain Palmer could only produce 7 points, so 14 points. Salah, 18 points. And blanks around the board except for Rogers and Value with 8 and 6 respectively. That was game week 14. We got a small red arrow that week. But oh my, in midweek did our fortune change with a 68-point game week, giving us a green arrow now into the 5 digits. So we are now 71,333 in the world, coming up from the 112 overall ranked in the world. So we move it on up, a nice little green arrow. And looking to see how the team did. It couldn't get any better in defense, as we say, as Konsa finally returned that 8-pointer, but he was joined with a 0 from Sepp off the bench, as Gabriel still wasn't able to play for Arsenal. 2 points for Fabianski, and of course the solidarity 1 point from Vadio. My boy City still in the mud with a 2-2 draw versus Palace. Then in midfield, Starboy Saka blanks for 2 points, but our captain Palmer went massive with the Liverpool and Everton game being postponed due to bad weather. So Palmer absolutely went nuclear with a 36-point captain game week. We had another blank from Rogers, but Bowen, the guy that we bought in ahead of his favorable schedule, gave us a massive dozen points. So 12 points from Bowen. The striking department was lean and mean with 2, 1, and 2 from Jackson, Cunha, and Evan Nielsen. Evan Nielsen coming in for Chris Wood as our last minute buy to make sure that we had favorable players, but bringing him in for Chris Wood turned to be a move that I have some buyer's remorse, but more on that later. So again, another green arrow, and we're looking good heading in now into game week 16. And now to give the red flags in my team. So now looking at the 4 positions in my team, we starting off in the goalkeeping position. I'm pretty content at the moment with having Sanchez and Fabianski, so definitely going to keep an eye to make sure that Sanchez keeps his place in the starting lineup, but with Chelsea's favorable run ahead, I really like Sanchez, and Fabianski is also there as a starting 4.1 now million keeper to pick up the slack. In defense, however, we have a couple red flags. Again, we have Mekalenko, the fixtures. Not going to be able to play him till January 4th or 5 weeks from now, so we have to manage for the next 4 game weeks without Mekalenko, as he has absolutely horrible fixtures. And of course, Gabriel being injured, we don't know if he will be back in time for this game week. So those 2, if they are out, means that we are bare bones with Sepp, Konza, and of course Vadio. And we are seeing that City are not been able to provide the clean sheets with Man United on this weekend in the Manchester Derby. So definitely a little concern with Gabriel's fitness, and again Mekalenko. But the bonus of having Mekalenko is we know that there's a double at some point. So unless you're planning to wildcard, or you still have your wildcard, or planning to use the second wildcard early when you get it in January, I don't see a world where I could take Mekalenko out and then bring him back for the double. So he may be stuck in the team for a little longer until I get a better feeling of when the double comes my way. But they're definitely going to need defensive reinforcement if Gabriel is unable to go. And we'll have a better idea according to how Arsenal line up in midweek, and if we get any news from the Champions League game against Monaco. In midfield, pretty content at the moment, I must say. We have the big 3 in Palmer, Saka, and of course Mo Salah. We have Bowen, who has returned. We bought him in for his favorable fixtures, which continue into the next 2. And Rogers, the budget buy. So I don't see any necessary moves to make here. I'm content at the moment, as I said. But in attack, no Isaac, is a red flag, and I'm having buyer's remorse on the Evan Nielsen buy this last game week. If I didn't buy him and kept Wood, would have gotten 6 more points plus the extra transfer. For this week, I could have moved one of Vardiol down into probably a $4.3 million defender, and then Wood up to Isaac. So a little buyer's remorse on Evan Nielsen, but we'll check out the solutions to these red flags to see my plans for this upcoming game. So the possible solutions now to these red flags, well, for those who have a problem in the goalkeeping position, although I am content at the moment, I still do like Sanchez if you're looking for a budget buy, 4.7, maybe 4.8 the time you watch this video. But if you have extra money and you could go premium, I don't think you could go wrong with either Raya or Alisson, as he's back in goal for the Champions League game for this Genora. So Raya or Alisson if you have that extra money to go premium, but I think Sanchez is still the best budget keeper in the game right now. In defense, as I said, Gabriel, it's a worry. So he being the more expensive of the two. If he can't go this weekend, it could be a straight swap to Saliba, who is 6.2 million. So it won't really be any trouble to swap Gabriel to Saliba. Most likely I want to stay in Arsenal's defense, not only because I think they're one of the top 2 defenses in the Prem when it comes to clean sheets, but also that corner witchcraft thing that they're doing is resulting in a lot of points for the centre backs. We see Saliba scoring back-to-back game weeks. Gabriel was on a tear. Even Timber getting into the action as well. So I would like to stay in Arsenal's defense. So the most likely move if Gabriel can't go, it's going to be Gabriel to Saliba. On the other hand, if you have a little extra coppers in your pocket, you may move to the red side of Merseyside, especially with a double carded for some time down the line, and look to VVD or Trent Alexander-Arnold. If you're going to VVD, it's going to cost you a little bit more, as he's currently 6.4 at the time of recording. A great pick and a little cheaper than the absolute premium or the pinnacle of defenders in Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's going to cost you a pretty penny at 7 mil. So you're going to have to pay almost 0.8, 0.9 more to go up to Trent according to when you buy him, because I expect him to rise in price before the upcoming game week. So definitely keep an eye on that. If you're looking to move on from Mykolenko, if you're looking to downgrade to get some cash to improve the team in another position, I think you could definitely eye Colwell, especially if you don't have Sanchez in goal at 4.5. Again, Chelsea have a great upcoming schedule, and Colwell is probably due a goal before this promising schedule ends, because he's been getting on the end of the odd corner with no reward thus far, but maybe it comes. You know, if you keep trying, keep knocking on the door, one day it might open. So Colwell at 4.5 million. But a steal at 4.4 million for me right now is Lewis Dunk from Brighton. Looking at Brighton, they have a great schedule as well. We know what Lewis Dunk can do from corners and set pieces. He's a great presence in the air, and I really like Brighton's fixtures going forward. Unfortunately for Brighton, they don't seem to be able to hold those clean sheets as they be conceding at a regular clip. But at 4.4 million, it could be the ideal replacement for those who already have Sanchez and don't have much money to spend if you're looking to replace Mykolenko or one of the budget defenders, because his price tag again is at 4.4 million. In midfield, again, I'm saying that I'm content with my midfielders, but for those who are looking for a little change, I still think Mbeumo from Brighton at 6.5 million is a good buy. I think he has a lot of utility in the game. Brighton will have this week off here before they play again at the weekend, so a little rest there for Mbeumo, so maybe he could get some points in the upcoming fixtures. Again, a great run. Semenyo at 5.7 is a nice entry point for those looking to save some cash. If you don't fancy Rogers or you're looking for alternative pick, I think you can't go wrong with Semenyo at that price tag. And the upside play, the big play, if you're looking for something in midfield, it's going to be Kulusevski, but he's going to come in at 6.3 million. So not the ideal price for your 5th midfielder, but a great price if you're looking to just take a shot as Spurs tackle Southampton this upcoming game week. So he's a great buy. In the forward line, I mean, the box stops with Isaac to replace Evan Nielsen. If I can get there, I think he is the best forward to buy right now. If you don't have him, he's been in great form. Newcastle have an amazing next 2 fixtures, and points are going to be there for the taking if you're Isaac owner. So 8.6 million now, he's going to come at a pretty penny, but if you're Watkins owner, or maybe if you still have Holland, you could definitely go to Isak. And if you have one of the budget strikers and you could go up to the Swedish hitman, I'll definitely make that move. And João Pedro lands here as well at 5.9 million. Not the budget forward he was when I first called his name at 5.4, but definitely still worth the price tag. You can't really get better at 5.9. But soon he'll be entering the 6 million range, 6.1 million range, which will be entering the Chris Wood territory. So definitely going to have competition at the higher price points. But at 5.9 is still the best option. One guy that fell out of the list this week is Ryan Altnuri, not because I don't think he's not good for the next 2-3 games, but he's coming in now at 4.9 million and the amazing run is almost done. So if you're bringing in Altnuri now, just short term now for the next 2-3 fixtures. So he drops out, but I still think if you have him, you keep him. Wolves haven't been playing well with regarding clean sheets, but he does have the attacking utility. So if they do keep one, he could be on for a big haul. But I think the time is running out when it comes to buying the Algerian fullback. And now with all that information, you may be wondering what is my personal move with my team this week. When looking at my team, I think the only player that I would really like in my setup for this upcoming game week, the next couple game weeks I should say, is Alexander Isak, but he's going to come at a hit. So if I can get Evan Nielsen to Isak and maybe Vadio down, if I get news that Gabriel is available to play, I'll definitely do that. That means I'll have to keep Mekalenko in the team for a longer period, and I'll lose Vadio for the long haul with City's fixtures turning. But I think Isak is a great play for the next upcoming game weeks. So he's the only player I'm really interested in getting in. But if I hear that Gabriel is out, I probably will take Gabriel down to a budget midfielder in order to get Isak. If not, for a hit. If not, it will just be Gabriel to Saliba. So to recap, it's either Gabriel straight to Saliba to stay in Arsenal defense, or it's going to be Gabriel straight down to a budget defender to get Evan Nielsen up to Isak. So that is the planned transfer for this upcoming game. And with that now covered, we have one more dilemma to solve. I know a lot of people are wondering who to put the armband on this upcoming game week. Well, have no fear, as Captaincy Corner is here. And Captaincy Corner for the last couple game weeks, it's going to be the red versus blue, whether Mo Salah, Cole Palmer owner. I know there's a big debate on who's the better captain for the upcoming game. It's kind of like a Batman v Superman kind of debate going on. Right now they're tied at 1 because it seems like the temperature shifts from winter to heat with Cole and Mo according to the day. But at the time recording here on Tuesday, if I had to put the armband on, it would be Cole Palmer, but I can't guarantee that that wouldn't change to Salah as the temperature really changes. So those two are the definite captain picks. They either picking blue or red, but at the time recording right now, I would definitely put it on Palmer simply because I think playing Brentford at the bridge is a better matchup than Salah versus Robinson of Fulham, as Robinson has been putting right wings in a blender. As you see, kind of put the clamps on Saka this last game week. So that's why I'm going Palmer over Salah this upcoming game week. The second position, it's going to be Alexander Isak. Amazing fixture, great form. Little suspect on Newcastle as a whole, but Isak is proving me wrong. Great performance versus Liverpool 2 weeks ago. I think he continues his hot hand, and he is a worry for me since I don't have him in my team. That's why I said the pending transfer kind of revolves around if I could get him in. In third position, it's going to be Arsenal's starboy Saka versus the Toffees of Everton. A little rest for Everton means they could be ready for the Gunners when they come. But Saka can't put him lower than 3. He's only here because I think Isak / Cole Palmer and Salah are better. At number 4, it's the most expensive asset in the game, Erling Haaland in the Manchester Derby. I know City have not been playing well, but I think City will have to get up for the United game, the Manchester Derby. And if they are to score, you know that most likely it's going to be Erling Haaland. And finally, the cheeky ball pick for this upcoming game week, it's going to be Kulusevski of Spurs versus Southampton. You know, Spurs seem to not be able to play the smaller teams being beaten constantly, but I think they do turn out around this upcoming game week. I know Son is a premium that a lot of people won't have, but I think Kulu edges it for me in the tricky ball, as he's someone that most of the managers can get to with one transfer. And he's been Spurs arguably their best player this season. So I think he lands on the tricky ball, a definite upside play for this game week. Kulusevski from Spurs. And that concludes Captaincy Corner for this game week. And that concludes this week's episode of Proper Things. I hope you all had fun listening to me. You know, I always have a great time delivering the episode. If you're liking the picks, I'd like to hear from you down in the comment section. And even if you're not liking the picks or you have alternative ideas on how to set up your team for the festive season, I'd like to hear from you down in the comments. So don't be scared. You could go down there and congratulate me from turning it around from the million rank now up to 5 digits in the last 5 game weeks. So it's been a great run, some nice green arrows. And while you're there leaving your thoughts, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 100 at the end of the year. So don't forget to click that subscribe button. Every little bit helps. So I really appreciate it if you could do that. And with that being said, congratulations to all the managers who've been having a great time. We almost at the midway point. We're almost halfway there for the season. So if you're going to make a move, you're running out of time in the first leg of the race, but the second leg promises to bring much more action. So game week is almost upon us. This upcoming game week, we're almost in the festive season where we're going to get a lot of games. So good luck, and don't forget to do proper things in all walks of life. I'll see you all next game week.